Welcome in, everybody. Devin O'Day here, and it is Main Street Today time. We've got some bad weather coming to the mid-state. Across the state of Tennessee, some of the southern counties are supposed to have it a little bit worse than the northern counties. But if you'd like to find out a little bit more, my gal is Danielle Breezy over at WKRN. I have the WKRN weather app. Whatever you have, here's what Danielle last night. Have your phone charged. Have your phone charged. Have a safety plan. Have a safety plan. Know what you're going to do. That's my dog saying, yes, let's have a safety plan. And then also make sure that you have the weather app from the station of your choice. There are a lot of people who don't realize some of the things to do during bad weather and during a tornado. Let's give a look at what the Red Cross says do.
We should seek shelter in a sturdy building is by far the most appropriate and expeditious thing to do. In general, the more interior spaces are better protective than being against an outside wall. And in general, the lower you go, the more protected you are. So if you're in a house, for example, that has a basement, go to the basement. Or in a business building that has a basement, go to the basement. One of the things that has been found in recent tornadoes, particularly this last year in the South, is that if you're in a place of business that has a big walk-in freezer, it's not comfortable maybe, but it's comparatively safe compared to the rest of the building. The scenario is twofold. If the scenario is that you're in a car and you can go to a sturdy building, then that's the preferable thing to do. Go to the building and seek out the most safe place within the building. But if you're outside and you have access to a car, or if you're outside and in a car, and in both of those scenarios you don't have access to a building, then the car is a safer place to be than just being outside by yourself. The research that's been done since 1980, but particularly the research that's been done in the last decade, is pretty unanimous in showing that the car is a much safer place to be than being out on the road or out in a field or out in a ditch by yourself. Modern cars are built to protect you. They surround you with a steel cage, there's impact absorption, and the airbags will still work if you leave the car running. And so the suggestion is that you remain in the car, engine running, and then because things can fly through the windows and out the other side of the car, it's good to lower yourself down as much as you can so that your head isn't above the lower sill of the window, so that you're not as likely to be hit by flying debris.
I thought that had a lot of important information. The important thing to also note is that a tornado passes through very, very quickly. So pay attention when you have your weather station ready to go. Make sure today that if you have a weather radio, that you have it ready to go, that you have your basement plan, you have your place in your house that is your safe space. And now here's what Danielle Breezy at WKRN, the weather app, she has daniellebreezy.tv and her Facebook page. She said that the front is coming in tomorrow about 9 a.m. to Middle Tennessee. There's going to be 2 rounds. It's going to blow through early, and then it's going to have a little lull. And she said sometimes it gathers more pressure, and then it will come back in the overnight of tomorrow. That is Wednesday. It's also going to be St. Patrick's Day. So if you do plan to be out, be sure that you pay attention to the weather app. It will tell you when to take cover and if it's going through your area. Now let's take a look. Speaking of St. Patrick's Day, there are a lot of places in Middle Tennessee that are fantastic. There is a place that if you have not heard of it, it's called the Lost Paddy, Irish pub and restaurant. And if you don't know about this place, it actually, now see if you recognize this. If you are a Nashville native, you might know about a place that used to be called Dad's Place or the Rose Room. Well, Dad's place is now has been renovated and bought out by an Irishman who wanted to Nashville. And they have some incredible live music every day of the week. But I want to tell you about some of the food that they've got. Of course, it wouldn't be an Irish pub without fish and chips, especially on Friday. But look at this, the Lost Paddy grilled mac and cheese. I've never even heard of such a thing. But I will say that I've had the burgers, and the burgers are the best I have ever had in my life. And get the one wonderful. A lot of people don't realize that the word pub actually is not short for bar. In Ireland, pubs are public house, and it's where people in the town would gather in each little area and discuss politics and have conversations. A pub is not a bar. Whole families go. They have dinner. They sit around. They talk. They have music. So public house is on the front of the Lost Paddy. And this is the crown jewel of the whole menu. This is, oh my gosh, does that not look incredible? And one of the things that he gets is he gets Irish cheeses and some Irish beef, and the corned beef that he has. It's just delicious. I will tell you, it is just second to none. And on St. Paddy's Day is going to have Irish music all day long, including, let's see this list, Tommy Brennan, who's there every Wednesday, Def Leprechaun, which we had on the show yesterday, and Wendell. Let's take a look at what it will sound like at the Lost Paddy on St. Paddy's Day.
be doing a little of that, a little bit of this.
Wendell will be part of the celebration all day long, Irish music at the Lost Paddy, the Irish pub and restaurant at where I-40 and 24 head east and merge together and spread apart again at 715 Spence Lane, right off Murfreesboro Road, formerly Dad's Place for those people who've been in Nashville from 11 a.m. until midnight. Now, they don't do Irish music every day like this. They have a karaoke night, they have a blues night, they have a lot of locals that are always part of it, but the food is always tremendous. If you go to thelostpaddy.com, you can see all the menu there. And it is, I will tell you that if you like a good burger, they don't just do Irish food either. Those hamburgers, oh my lordy, they are so, so good. Well, speaking of good, coming up, the gospel music is not, we are not slaves to a genre around here on Main Street today. And there's so much great music that comes out of Middle Tennessee. And a lot of it will be represented on TBN April 1st for Easter. April 1st, on a Thursday night at 8 o'clock Central Time, the Gospel Music Association presents Because He Lives, an Easter celebration. It will be broadcast on TBN with all sorts of great stars that are all facets of gospel music, like Amy Grant, Anthony Brown and Group Therapy, Cece Winans, Ellie Holcomb, Jacqueline Carr, Nicole C., Karen Peck and New River, Natalie Grant and Bernie Herms, and of course, Zach Williams. Because He Lives, an Easter celebration, brought to you by TBN and a lot of great sponsors. It's a beautiful night to celebrate the resurrection of Christ. Won't that be spectacular? I love all of the great music that comes out of Middle Tennessee. Well, speaking of Middle Tennessee, there is a blues artist that we're going to be talking about in just a second. Her name is Donna Herrick. She and her husband have the band called Herrick Band. Herrick is the name of the way of doing music. But before that, let's talk about what we're doing to revolutionize music and stories and entertainment and all about the Mid-State with our brand new digital format. 5 days a week, Music City will be immortalized. We will tell all the news that is news with Main Street Nashville. Did you know that Main Street Nashville is live? With the Main Street Nashville e-edition, you can read online in its true printed format from anywhere in the whole world. It's all packaged in an easy-to-use digital format that puts you back in control. Main Street Nashville is a simple new way to interact with and consume news. Access the full e-edition of Main Street Nashville on your computer, tablet, or smartphone, and read whenever and wherever you want. All you have to do is subscribe by visiting mainstreetnash.com and clicking the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It's so easy. One of the neat things about Main Street Nashville is there's a drop-down menu represented there. So one-stop shop. There's also an e-newsletter. So if you want to know what's breaking in your community, in the Nashville community, wherever you are, the breaking news that will affect us right here, well, you can go and sign up, and that is free. And for a limited time, the entire digital newspaper is free. So do yourself a favor, go to mainstreetnash.com and check that out. Speaking of check out, look at what Donna Herrick and her husband have done with their band. They really have kind of created a new way to participate in their music.
Everybody, this is Donna Herrick with the band Herrick. You know, in the past, if you were a Herrick supporter and listener, it was kind of difficult to keep up with us. We weren't really signed to a label, wasn't affiliated with any company or organization. Well, guess what? We finally decided to align ourselves with a company and a label. That is you. You are our machine. That's why we started something new, something that's never been done before, something revolutionary in the country music industry, and we are doing it first. So, what is it we are about to do? It's a risk we took. We basically removed the wall that was dividing artist from listener. There is no wall between you and I. Me, artist, you as a listener, supporter. And we want to take this time and thank all you supporters, all you listeners. You all have been beside us. Thank you so much. All your support from all over the world. New Zealand, Canada, Spain, even Germany. And the cool thing was when we got a chance to hear your stories, you all communicating with us every time, we got to thank you for supporting us. It was so beautiful. We will never stop doing that. This video is not for anyone who doesn't know who we are. But if you are a Herrick supporter, whether it's New Dance, Do You Love Me, the official music video, Do You Love Me, the single, Ain't In My Heart, the single, Indie Country Female Vocalist of the Year, Indie Country Entertainers of the Year, Cotton Fields album. If you liked, shared, left a comment, or you just want to know more about us, we are affiliated with no label, no company. We are indie. We are that hybrid artist. It's easy. Just go to herricklive.com, which is ran by me and my best friend, my husband, Harry. That's it. You put your email, you put your name, and whatever information we need from you. After that, you get all our music directly sent to you free. No wall dividing us.
Yeah, because some of that we're not going to use, guys. It's just to have.
No need for distribution platforms. You get it all directly from us. All our releases, all our new releases, and even bonus content that only these members will receive. No one else. So hop on board. If you are a Herrick supporter, you're missing out if you don't head over to herricklive.com and claim your spot. Everyone that's over there right now is enjoying the experience. Hopefully, you will too.
Taking a stroll down memory lane.
That is a horrible joke.
Yeah, most of mine are.
They are fantastic. Jimmy Bowen from Wilson County, bluegrasser and incredible artist himself. He turned me on to Herrick a while back, and I just absolutely, Donna's just one of the best vocalists I've ever heard, ever. And so she'll follow them and see what they do. We've got a young artist we're going to introduce you to, but before that, anybody who is a fine artist, I want you to listen up to what's coming up. Artober. Welcome to Artober. Nashville celebrates the arts together. The Community Foundation is part of celebrating the art of Middle Tennessee. Right now, we're asking artists to submit a piece of artwork that exhibits Artober Nashville. It's full of vibrant colors and patterns and abstract designs. A theme idea must be submitted to go along with the work. For example, last year's theme was inclusion. So, inclusion was the theme of the artwork. April 30th, 2021 is the deadline to submit. In order to submit, you have to be a Middle Tennessee artist. You have to have colorful artwork, and it can be mixed media, 2D, painting, photography, printmaking, watercolor, etc. Just within the theme. High-res, PDF, ready files, or TIFFs or JPEGs or photographs are accepted. Your important dates now through April 30th. Submissions will be accepted for the Artober Nashville logo. The panel of judges will review the entries June 4th. The entrants will be notified of the decision. The winner and their piece of artwork will be announced in July. And Now Playing Nashville and Artober socials will display the work just like this. Artober Nashville, celebrating the arts together with the Community Foundation. Oh my goodness, look who is joining us live. Hi, Stella.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I love turning people on to new artists, and actually, it's an interesting thing. We just had a comment from Elizabeth, and she was saying, I just love all the artists you share. I found many new favorites here. So, Elizabeth, thank you. All our music lovers have really wrapped around some of the people that we've gotten to share here. Tell me, Stella, a little bit about you. Where are you from?
Sure. I'm actually from upstate New York, right near Woodstock, which is the capital of folk music and so much amazing history. But yeah, so I grew up in New York my whole life, but I go to Nashville as often as I can, pandemic withstanding, of course. But, yeah, I am a 16-year-old singer-songwriter, and, pretty much my goal in life is to bring, acoustic music and authenticity back to music. So I'm just so excited to be able to talk with you today.
We're excited to have you. 16 years old and so mature. I can't believe. I think I first saw you on Global Rising Song. Is that true? Global Rising Song?
Yes, I think a couple of months ago. Yeah.
Well, I was so excited. I go, I know who she is because I saw her on Global Rising Song. They said, absolutely, that's what she did. And Global Rising Song is a songwriting competition that is fan driven. It's kind of like a fundraising platform for the artist,
yeah,
and a competition to get you exposed to a whole new community.
Yeah, that was definitely fun. But it's been so wonderful to be able to have all these opportunities virtually through the pandemic. And obviously, I really miss performing and seeing people face to face and traveling and touring and all of that. But it's just been amazing to see how much I can do, in my own home on the computer. And I never thought all of this would be able to happen in this pandemic. It's crazy.
I know it has taught us to listen differently, to view differently. And now buffering and freeze ups, we just kind of go, oh, that's just part of it.
Yep. It's annoying, but it happens.
Yeah, it does. Well, you have a new single. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, sure. So my new single is called Before You Leave. And it just came out this Friday, March 12th. And it's actually my first single. So I am so excited to share it with the world. And it's something that I've been wanting to do for a really long time. And I think it's probably one of my favorite songs I've ever written. And it's very special to me because it's the first song I'm ever sharing with the world. So I'm very excited.
Well, I'm glad you chose to share with us. And as people listen to this, I swear to you, if this song does not end up on a television show or a film in the next year, or even a commercial on television that you see. And I think that it goes beyond boundaries. It's not country, it's not pop, it's just acoustic music, and it's just wonderful.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Honestly, I think it's very important to me to be very authentic and, kind of not just be labeled as one genre and kind of be many things, just contemporary music and acoustic music and Americana and folk, like just so many things. And I think it's so powerful to be considered everything. So, yeah.
To be, but timing's everything, don't you see? So just one more time, say you love me before you leave, before you leave, before you leave. Like an earthquake with shifting ground, searching for ourselves in the lost and found memories of what could almost be, casting shadows on our destiny. And you and me were always meant to be, but timing's everything, don't you see? So passing trains point to paths that break apart. Splintered moments of my heart, and you and me were always meant to be. But timing's everything, don't you see? So just one more time, say you love me before you leave, before you leave, before you leave.
Stella Prince, Before You Leave, the first single.
First single ever.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. And the music and your melodic structure of that is just beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's so funny. Everyone I co-write with, they're like the way you write is so different. Like all of your like picking patterns and everything. I've never seen anything like it. I'm like, oh, it's so natural to me. You know, I couldn't do anything else. It's so funny.
Well, you're only 16, so you may be able to do a whole bunch of things you haven't even discovered yet. But the truth is, we would not be as blessed without that music. Tell me about who produced that? I mean, did you produce it?
Yeah, I did not produce it. We have an amazing producer that we work with in New York City. His name is Ned Ginsburg. So he's in New York City, and then it was amazing. We had a cellist come in and a keyboardist, and it was just so exciting. It was actually recorded in the same studio in New York City where Lady Gaga recorded her first demo. So that was so fun.
I was going to ask about the cello. I'm a sucker for a great cello move, and man, that was just gorgeous.
Yes, I was so happy and beyond thrilled when I first heard the cello in the final mix. I was like, whoa, like this is just a totally different sound. Like I had never ever heard my music sound that good. It was amazing.
Well, we are glad to share the story of Stella Prince, 16 years old, brand new to a format, to a release of a single, and everybody wants to support you. So how can they find out more about you?
Sure. Yeah, you can totally follow me on Instagram, Stella Prince Music, and of course my website, which is stellaprincemusic.com, has all my information about where to find me. And please, stream my new single. That would be so wonderful to have your support. It's on all streaming platforms. So.
Well, Stella Prince, you are zooming toward the stars.
Oh, thank you so much. And this was so wonderful to be able to meet you today.
Thank you. And it was so funny because I just got an email from your publicist and I said, oh my gosh, she's wonderful. Can we have her on tomorrow? And she goes, well, let me see, and sure enough, here you are. So thank you for that short notice, but I didn't want to miss the debut.
Oh, of course. Well, I am always so happy to speak to anyone about my music. It's probably the highlight of my whole life. So, and especially you. So.
Thank you. Well, you have a wonderful rest of your day. We're going to close the show by saying, be safe, be kind, and remember, you are loved. Bye, everybody.